Hello, dear friends! We continue to figure out why people are aging and how this can be affected. The most important mechanism that is involved in the emergence of all signs of old age is chronic systemic low-grade inflammation. It inevitably develops with aging and is the trigger for hypertension, myocardial infarction, stroke, diabetes mellitus, osteoporosis, muscle atrophy, arthritis, atherosclerosis, neurodegenerative diseases, immunosuppression, Alzheimer's disease and cancer. That is, all these diseases are symptoms of old age and then begin to develop after 30-35 years. If we want to defeat old age, we need to defeat chronic inflammation. To do this, you need to figure out why it occurs, how it manifests itself, and how it causes age-related diseases. This will be discussed today. Inflammation is an important defense in response to damage. The goal of inflammation is to restore constancy within the body. For example, if you get the flu, then a number of characteristic signs develop: fever, cough, runny nose, aching joints, and conjunctivitis. All these are common manifestations of inflammation. The body is so struggling with the virus. When the symptoms go away, the virus is defeated. Health has recovered. This is an example of acute inflammation. The virus is destroyed, the body calms down. Another clear example of acute inflammation is the usual splinter under the skin. If it is not removed, redness, swelling, and pus forms around it. Then the abscess breaks through, the splinter is carried out, and the wound heals. The body is cleansed, the cause is eliminated. The inflammation stops. In the above example, the body operates according to one program. A trigger appears, a virus or a foreign body. Cells of the immune system recognize the enemy and produce signaling substances. Signal substances activate other cells of the immune system, change the temperature, turn on the mobilization mode in the body. Depending on the strength of the pathogen, the reaction may be local, as in the case of a splinter, or general, as in the case of the flu. An activated immune system produces factors that either destroy the pathogen or try to dissolve it or push it out, if it is a foreign body. If the body is unable to cope with the pathogen, then the inflammation goes into the chronic phase. The immune system receives signals that put it in alert. However, this is not enough immunity factors to eliminate the cause of inflammation. Instead, they begin to act on their own cells. This is clearly seen when an unremovable splinter sits in the skin. The surrounding tissues become discolored, harden, peel, and change their appearance in every way. Structural changes and destruction appear in adjacent tissues. This is how the work of chronic inflammation looks. About the same destructive processes occur inside, with generalized low-grade inflammation. The walls of the arteries are affected. They become less elastic and unable to expand. This leads to the development of hypertension. The inner layer of the arteries is damaged. Atherosclerotic plaques begin to form on them. The synovial membrane of the joints is affected. Arthritis develops. Joint cartilage is attacked. Arthrosis develops. Chronic inflammation in the body reduces insulin sensitivity. Type 2 diabetes develops. Impact on the immune system leads to its weakening and increase the incidence of cancer. After all, the immune system controls the emerging cancer cells and effectively destroys them for the time being. Inflammation in the nervous tissues leads to inhibition of the functions in the brain and peripheral nerves, the occurrence of Alzheimer's disease, dementia, and impaired coordination of movements. The main cause of low-intensity generalized chronic inflammation is the aging of body cells. Aging cells are cells that stop dividing and fulfill their function. The vital processes in them are suspended and they go into the stage which leads to programmed cell death. Such an aging cells is a source of special substances. They affect the immediate environment. Under their influence, the surrounding cells also begin to age. Aging cells contaminate neighboring healthy cells and make them aging too. Both Living aging cells and their decay products after death signal the cells of the immune system that begin to produce inflammation factors, tumor necrotic factor or alpha-TNF, interleukin-1 beta and interleukin-6. These substances already act throughout the body and trigger inflammation in the vessels, nervous system, joints, skin, immune system, digestive system, and so on. Under the influence of chronic inflammation, there is a restructuring in the organ, sensitivity to various hormones is disrupted, the body becomes unable to maintain the constancy of the internal environment. For example, insulin sensitivity is impaired. This changes the metabolism and causes the deposition of visceral fat. Cells of the immune system migrate into visceral fat. These cells are called macrophages. Macrophages secrete inflammation factors. Inflammation factors further impair insulin sensitivity disorders. The vicious circle is closed. In addition to the main reason, cell aging, chronic systemic inflammation also occurs due to smoking, oxidative stress, for example, with excessive endurance training, eating habits, impaired intestinal microflora, disorders of the blood coagulation system, excessive deposition of fat, chronic viral diseases, environmental effects, drugs, and so on. Chronic systemic inflammation during aging isn't felt by a person. Rather, all the usual manifestations of old age are the result of its impact. Recently, it has become possible to quantify the intensity of chronic inflammation. In human blood, the level of tumor necrotic factor alpha, interleukin-6 and interleukin-1 beta can be measured. The older the person, the higher the levels of these substances. Accordingly, if we fight aging, the levels of these markers of inflammation will decline. That is, we can measure how well we treat old age. About what you need to do to fight chronic systemic inflammation, I will discuss in the next video. Thanks for watching, subscribe to our channel and stay young.